introduction. It was for us, for many women, it was unacceptable and even unthinkable that we will travel, right? And we get now, like after year, every year after year, we start traveling more, we start to get more adventurous. And there are many statistics and research that show that actually now young women travel more than young men. And even now, we can see this like more adventurous women coming out. Still, there are, if you see everywhere in all social media or even around you, we can see all like men everywhere, all adventurous men, hiking, climbing, paragliding, traveling in all the countries in the world, all men. And also that more women are being involved into that. So I just wanted first to ask you, what do you think that women gain when traveling, when being adventurous? What do you, not only women, like we are now also men, sure you can say like when you are traveling or when you are going into adventure, what do you gain? For me, I will say self-confidence, okay? Yes. What are the other benefits? Like you feel like it helps you to go adventures, to go in the wild, to travel. Inner peace. Inner peace.
You can say it in Arabic and we'll translate it in English. It's fine.
I will translate it directly. I will write it in Arabic. Yes, but first of all, you need the courage from you. Yes, so you feel good.
You want to practice on big courage.
Good. How do we spell correct?
Go ahead.
Please. I know what you mean. I don't know how to write it. Like
C-O-U. C-O-U-R-A-G-E.
Yeah. Okay. Courage.
C-O-U.
C-O. Yes. Yeah. Right. U-R-A-G. We know what that is, right? Good. Yes. Courage. So sometimes also I have many languages in the mind. I don't know what.
Yes. Change of mood.
Okay. Change of mood. Yes. I guess for good, right? For better.
Yeah.
Yes. What is?
It's about self-learning, self-development, or self-development.
Completely self-knowledge.
Self-knowledge. To be more independent, to be honest.
Independent, for me also. Increase creativity.
Get out of comfort zone.
Bravo. Famous comfort zone, right? Yes. Any other experience which will help you to develop yourself better and better? Yes, yes, as well, yes. How do you feel? No, you go travel, you feel good.
I come with that.
You've never been outdoors, you've never traveled, you've never gone to this one. Why do you like it? Okay, you don't like this is not the right.
So this weekend we have to try. We have several here. You need to choose one.
Okay.
And then we can give a discount.
Also very important that me, I feel that I learn a lot with my family, new skills. And also just release of anxiety, stress. I mean, it's good, right? So yes, and
you learn about other people's culture as well.
Completely, yes. Other people's cultures and new friendships. Yes. It's not only about ourselves. And what do you think are the fears that women have when they are thinking about traveling or about booking an adventure or going on an adventure by themselves? What do you think are fears that they come into their mind? In your mind, and for you, what do you comes in their mind? What are these fears? Safety. Related to what?
How safe am I in that place?
Okay. This is good. What are you afraid of?
When something you don't know, people you've not met before.
Okay, people?
Yeah.
Yes, you might be afraid of people. Okay.
The physical challenges.
She mentioned she's afraid to get stolen.
Get stolen. Okay, that's also one thing. Usually, to be honest, when you go like in outdoors, it's very difficult that will happen. And even in general, but just having a little bit of common sense and always working with you. My God, I never got stolen by the way, yeah? And yes, these are things. Yes, I touch wood. And even like, safety about other people. This is something very curious because I always feel that everyone is afraid of other people. And what I really learned in my trips, can you imagine if I would actually follow what people say about Middle East? My favorite region is Middle East, by the way. This is the place I always come back. Imagine I would have followed what people told me. When I first told that I was coming here, they told me that I was going to be kidnapped, that I was going to be killed, that everything my things were going to be stolen. This is what I got. So I know many times people are feeling afraid of other people, but this is something that they try to put in your mind. We need to find not the difference, but what it makes us the connection. So I always try to find the connection. And really, I can also tell you like, I found only good people in my trips and my travels. And 1 out of 1,000 might be bad, but the rest is good. Even sometimes people say that they're afraid, or some women maybe, or usually I've heard this from some women here in Oman, scorpions or snakes or mice in desert, right? I think I've seen one scorpion in all my life in the desert. And I've been so many times in so many deserts, like really. I have never seen a snake, and maybe yes, a mouse one day, but it will go away. Yes, that these are fears that they are more into like
Stereotypes.
yes, stereotypes, really stereotypes. Like you see Hollywood movies, oh, many scorpions in the desert, so you're thinking that there will be scorpions anywhere. That's sure there are, but I tell you like one. Any other fears that you face when you are traveling, or you want to go to take an adventure or try any new activity, new experience?
The physical challenge.
The physical challenge, yes, this is good, yes.
If the equipment's gonna be good enough to keep me from danger.
Okay, anyone who has here the companies that you are doing tours, right, activities, how do you manage to this, like for the equipment to be secure? I guess you check everything is right. Yes, the one, I don't know, because I don't do it, but sure, this might be like a problem, but I guess yes.
Let's say for Riyadh, because I have been into Riyadh, and I'm staying in, of course, we have to make sure that the guys who will be taking care of the police route and who will be descending down has the full safety and everything. And they do that first, and then the participant follows it.
And it's normal to have this fear, sure. But also think like, in every adventure that we take, there is always a small risk. And when you it's like this, it's not like, oh, everything is risk-free. No, sure, it's always a small risk that you have to be willing to take it or not. That's it. And at the end, it's like, it might happen, but really, you know what it might happen, that you are driving and you have an accident. That you are walking and something falls on your head and something happened to you. So at the end, it's a little bit of risk that you have to be willing to take. Sure, when we say. Any other?
I would add one thing.
Oh, yes.
Stories that didn't happen, like accidents didn't happen, specifically in Oman. Especially here in Oman, like 2-3 years, we had major accidents, like once or twice, that it made a big fuss in the country.
Like what kind of accidents?
There is one girl died in Saal steps, right about it, was last year. And there is one girl got injured in her stomach. Even though she went with a proper.
Yes, as you know.
I have a question. Was she with a group, organized group, or
not? I don't know. I can't declare. But I'm just looking these kind of stories makes either, people as a community afraid to let their daughters to go into the adventure.
Yes.
And at the same time, if their daughter's already in adventure, so we try to be really hesitant at that moment to make it cool down, but even though it didn't cool down, because the media made it more buzz. Although there was a lot of men accident, deaths, and some of them injury, it didn't have a big buzz. It was just for 1 day or 2 days, and then
Yes, I can imagine. Yes. And this is again something we need to change the image of also like some of these gender-based stereotypes, like women are weak and are like flowers and we need to take care of them and blah blah. No, we are strong and we can do everything as any other man. Like same, if he can do, I can do. I know this is my thing in my mind. And about physical, this is also something sort of fear. I have that fear. I'm zero sportive, okay? Zero, minus. Oh my God, you cannot imagine. And in 2020 was my first time in Oman. And I did the summit to Jebel Shams. I'm zero prepared, I'm zero like physically, really zero, you cannot imagine. But I think I'm very mentally prepared. So it was very hard to me to get to the summit. And when I got, I wanted to cry, alhamdulillah, I made it. But it was more about my mental strength than my physical strength. And that's what I'm trying to use. It's been many years, so I trained really my mind to be, because I know physically I'm weaker, it's true, but I try then to use my mind. And mind, it can be so strong, so strong to actually allow you to achieve something. Can I imagine with something like you did?
Yeah, it's like almost, it's a society that has that point, as you say, Patricia. So there's such a country, the moment you mention the country, they'll forget about all the crime around the world, they'll mention about the girl being raped in the bus.
Oh, yes.
So everyone will give you like, it's a country. So
yes.
there's a highlighted in such a countries. So the moment you say, I want to visit this, they will just highlight that a point of girl, weakness of girl, happened in that country.
Yes.
So there's a lot of those countries, like we say in India, whatever, any countries. So this is actually what you say, like they want to feed you what they have been on. So this is just to put a weakness point in your head that you're a girl, it will happen the same thing that you go there to happen the same thing. Then this is actually the challenge from yourself. Should they go ahead, you just not. Then that's time you start to create your imagination. And which is again you start to discover more, am I need to be a safe in that point? If I be that point, like, then you start imagination. But actually, in each country, everywhere you go, there is a good and bad.
Everybody.
Even in your house, even in your neighborhood. So it doesn't mean that you are on Oman, so you are really 100% safe. That's on your own risk as well. But they will highlight for you those stories.
Yes. And this is very important. This is something I always say when people ask me if I'm not scared of going like Iraq and Afghanistan and all these countries by myself, or Africa. I travel a lot to Africa also by myself. Really, the danger of traveling as a woman is exactly the same of just being a woman. Okay? Yeah. Really, that's it. Like simple as that. And so I decided to go and live my life and travel and do my things instead of just, okay, I will stay in my house and I will not be careful. No, really, because I know many things, like even in my village, like something happened to the girl that goes running, jogging. So I'm even safer in, I don't know, in Afghanistan than there. So yes, just like live your life and little bit of short to be prepared for this, but live your life at the end, yes. And someone asked in the form that I wanted just so also we can discuss, someone asked like how important is society's adaptation to the presence of women in the tourism and adventure world? Do you think it's important? How important it is, the presence of women, that to women to be present on the adventure and tourism world?
Yeah.
The people that you own businesses, how is the rate of women and men that you are employing? How can I ask how it is? If you even think about that, or no, just for team. Yes, team.
In Oman.
Yes, here in Oman, like you have a team, right?
Yeah, definitely male dominated, because it's the males who tend to who have been more interested in it. We bring in with groups, we bring in female and male instructors to carry out some of the adventure activities that we do. They're qualified instructors from Europe, UK. They come with groups, and in Europe and UK, it's very much even balance. So I have a number of females who are big outdoor enthusiasts. They're instructed, qualified climbers, cavers, mountain guides, everything. I think here in Oman, this is partly why I've come as well, is to see what is happening in the female side of the industry, because it is growing. It's really, adventure tourism in Oman has exploded, and it has been in the last just few years, and it's coming. And it's partly something that I would like to do more of, is to get more female employees involved with our company. It's yeah, and it's trying to network and see who's out there, who we could work with. Because the requests are more often from female travellers, groups, the school groups that we work with, because we work with children, girls and boys, and we always get asked, are there any female instructors or guides or people on your trips that help? And it's always been very much yeah, we might have one or two, but the majority of them are men. So it's something that's coming, I think.
It's coming, yes. Do you hire at the moment any Omani guides, women?
No.
Female, you don't have any. There are many others too. There are. Oh, there are. I'm also looking for.
Why I'm here as well, to see what's...
Yes, I'm also looking. I want to make it 100 for female. Nabil, what about you?
It's all about
Like
the,
an Omani also.
I think it's again about the general perception about really is the local woman willing to get into this sort of space. What we deal with is more with the foreign women. And with foreign women, basically now is a very big trend. Basically, adventures that come as couples or solo travelers. Solo travelers actually is increasing more and more. And very obvious. Oman, what I've seen is very attractive for solo women travelers. And what I've noticed obviously that the solo travelers, particularly women, they do a lot of research. They try to have a calculated risk, more of informative risk before they come down here. And then the selection or the basis of selection is again the safety. I keep asking a lot of women why you decide to come to Oman. But we have done a lot of research and the safety aspect that will attract them. But we really engage local guides in this area. It's very difficult to find them. Yeah, so it's difficult to find them. And also, what is their limits? Are they really sort of having borderlines, or are they really open? Yeah, because again, with adventure, there's no limit. You can be in a mountain somewhere camping, or you can be somewhere, in the middle of a valley. If you start limiting yourself and you put restriction, any basically recruiting company, any tourism company, you start basically thinking about it. So she will not probably be willing to attend to all my clients. And the moment she put all those restrictions, she becomes sort of. Now with tourism in Oman, you cannot just say adventure is an isolated product for tourism. You always have to mix it with other things. I mean, people when they come, they don't just want to do a sport activities, they want also to interact, they want to cultural
mixed. Yeah.
Mixed. So having to understand your needs, and having a full package, that's very important.
Yes.
So when it comes to the other element, when you select your guide, you don't really select on physical readiness of the person. It's really how much he's willing to create that environment around the clients, and really to contain the clients. The clients always, when they come, there's always an ice-breaking period. You have to go through that period as fast as possible. You have to contain the person. And what we notice is people who always keep that distance. They will never be able to get in with the clients.
But do you think it's people in general, or you feel like women are
Women
more
is
keen
more.
to keep the distance?
Women, they keep more distance.
Yes, women. Why do you think is that, to keep this distance? Like if you have a group of people, let's say, right, and you are looking for this tour guide, and you have one girl, and this girl will keep more distance, will have more limits, you think, right? So this is very interesting, like why this is happening, like.
So now this is where I'm keen here to listen, because I understand there's a cultural element which we have to face it.
Yes.
And you will not be able to solve it unless you face it. Now, let's take other businesses. Let's not focus on adventure. I'm coming from oil and gas business background. In oil and gas, in 90s and 80s, the woman here in Oman was not allowed or was not expected to be in oil field. That was not expected, not even not allowed. Nobody discussed it.
You couldn't even imagine.
Yeah, nobody did it. And I remember we have a colleague of mine, she joined with us. She was not allowed to go to the field. But then she was cross-posted to UK, to one of the North Sea basically field. She was in the middle of the ocean, and she did very well. But here, she didn't expect that she would be accepted. But now, I talked to my brother, he's in one of those fields here, and now she's fully engaged, including the local one, Saudi girls they have, all are fully engaged. But then, they first demonstrated that those barriers actually they don't exist, they are in our mind. You have to break them, but again, you have to handle the risks. Those risks which you have in your mind, you have to have informative risk, basically, appetite. You have to read, you have to clarify them in advance, and you have to read about them. And you have to sometimes make an agreement. If you work with me as a guide, you have to come and tell me that I'm worried and I have a fear of 1, 2, 3. How we can work it out?
Yeah, sure.
What are the solutions? Yeah? Could be a toilet, simple issue. And it's very simple solution, it's not really a big deal. But it could be also, sometimes in tour guiding, you try to minimize cost. So when you have your guides, you, for example, they have 2 of them in one room, or 3 of them in one room. Obviously, you cannot put the women's would accept, but you have to come and tell. I cannot really have to have my own room. So, but these things can be worked out.
Exactly.
And once you are clear about those risks, then you can engage yourself.
Yes, I can imagine. Sure, there are many cultural, social, religious aspects that they need to be taken into account. And this what you say about even like what you're expecting is even I do that to my clients coming. That they're mainly like male girls, right? And I really ask many questions. What are you expecting? What are your challenges? What do you think? Like many questions. So I know better and I can address them better. So I guess it's the same. And but this. What you say about exactly, it's higher cost. It might get like higher cost, higher even energy, higher even time. Do you think that companies are willing to give them a chance to, for example, new female Omani tour guides to give them this chance, or even like normal client, maybe you need exactly to address instead of 1 tent, I need 2, instead of 1 room, I need to book 2 instead of 1.
In actual fact, you need them. We are basically
Yes.
there's a vacuum in the market, and I'll tell you what. For us, it's much easier to work with foreigners, yeah, because it's easy actually they have the tolerance level is much higher. But you have a category which you're not addressing at all. The family, the local families, the Arab families, for example. We're not addressing this category. And the best can address this category is the female guides. They can address them better. They can really handle the kids better than the male. Because I'll tell you that. There's also the element of understanding also the people or the client based on his age group. Addressing a kid is totally different than addressing an adult. Yes. Yeah, addressing a woman is different, addressing a family is different. So there's a category which I think the female can master it much better. She can really handle it much better than the male. And this is a new market even for us, because we open this market, but the difficulties now, I've been, for example, Martha, she knows, I've been looking for guides for the last 5 months. Yeah, you won't believe it. It was very difficult to find. Women, we got access to only 1 or 2 or 3. Yeah, but always there was a limitation. When you talk about what is the scope, there's always a limitation. One of the biggest challenge, a lot of these tours, like you do them for continuous, like 3 days continuous or 5 days continuous. So you are away for 5 days. And that's even more challenging for the woman compared to a man. Yeah, so these areas that really we can talk about them, we can find solutions for them, we can address them, provided that we open a new market sector for us, which is called families and women.
Yes, yes. Actually, I wanted to talk a little about these challenges, like show that there are concerns facing and how you are addressing them and how are you feeling about this. Like, so now we have you, all of you, like do you feel these limitations? Do you feel this? Who is prepared to be a tour guide? Okay.
Me and my.
Yes.
When we were talking about the fears, we don't face these fears, but we face the challenges.
Challenges, sure.
As a tour guide and as a person who's working on marketing the adventures for people, not only for the men, also for the women, I was facing challenges in marketing these adventures for women specifically. The presence of women in adventures not only encourage each other. For example, when I see a girl is going to the adventures, doing all the activities, hiking, canyoning, mountaineering. When I see some of the girls doing this, I can see the abilities that I can go and do these kind of activities. It's not only encouraging each other, it's also encourage the families here in Oman, because as we all know that most of our families are conservative families. We don't have this support from our families to do these activities. But when the families see that there is some girls go to these adventures and do this safely, women can go with them, with their daughters, with their for example, wives.
Yes.
They encourage their families to go and do these activities. We face these challenges. For me, I face it every day. I can see this every day. It's not finding a tour guide or an adventure guide. It's not that difficult if the girl herself just have this self confidence that she can go and do this. And also some of the girls, they just need to know how to start.
Yes.
And then they will be an awesome adventurous guide. Mariam is one of those guides. She's not only a tour guide, she's an adventurous guide too.
And there are many women leading the faith, and that's good. Sure, it's
Yes.
very difficult.
Yes.
Also, when I lived in Saudi, I felt this a lot, and I was with many of these women, like the first diver, the first pilot of Formula One. So it was very like, oh my God, motivating. And I tell them, so nice to meet you, because they are really leading the way. And I know I cannot even start to imagine how it was difficult for me. I cannot even start to imagine how it's for them.
Too many women are just waiting the right chance.
Yes,
to start and
yes,
and be in this sector.
I just want to add something. It's really important. It really clicked in my mind when I was the first Omani went to Venezuela. The same thing, we go back to the conservative family. Even if our family are supporting us, with the community.
Family, community, society.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'll speak on my experience when I started 2016. Maybe it's the good thing, it was within the family as well. But the moment when I left my cousins and started by my own, that's the time the attack came. From everywhere, from work, from family and everything. So again we go, how the girl should be really self-confident and not to feel shame. We come back again to the shame. They make her feel, how come you can go to this place and actually this place is for only men? We have this kind of taboo also that the adventure only men can go because it's for them. You shouldn't be, as a girl, the feminine girl should be, you have this kind of stereotype, the girl should be only in the city, or just be a wife, or just be a tradition in Italy and that's it. And that's what we're facing actually. And facing, we're going with a lot of, I have been also made tour guide with one or less. So there are girls are really willing to do something, but this flattens them out. And some of the girls are willing to be, like they try, that's the good thing. Some of them they try, but they say, no, this is not our place of adventure. And some incidents come out of it. And the third thing, what Nalira mentioned, we don't market about ourselves. Like see the guys do this, they just do one peak, unknown.
Yes.
And the buzz and everything is there. But like for me, I will speak about myself. I never say like I will say this for my own self. But when there is a girl sees me or just check my page or even within the family, the girl is like, no, you should be proud what you have done. So here we come again. It's a mix of shame, self-confidence. Is that fine for me to say it or just keep it for myself?
This is
You
the
allow me to take a just to comment.
unlocking the doors for others.
Just to comment, I'm looking green into the wall, so Okay. I have also daughters, and my daughters basically now between 18 to 20. I encourage them really to go. Like in the fear of the family, it's not necessarily full of shame, but also you have probably higher fears than your daughters, yeah, for them to go there. And what is lacking is the amount of information, yeah, in order really to decide, yes, this is safe for my daughter to go, yeah, or not. There's not enough information, frankly saying. And you don't know even these particular companies. Now, in Oman, most of the companies in adventure, they're really small setups. I haven't seen yet that big setups where you can have really the real trust or with someone. So when you feel safe for your daughter, you'll allow her to go. But how do you do that? I have to check. There's a website where I can check, where I can really demonstrate, then I feel safe. That's one thing. Other thing also, I do encourage my daughters, I push them actually. Then they have their own fears, not my fears, their own fears. I mean, she addressed one of them, is the physical. Can I really do it? And having sort of like beginner's stage with coaching and training, and then you have all the levels, highly explained. Because what we have in Oman, and I know the difficulties level. What probably I see is difficult, yeah, others might see easy, yeah, and the other way around. Yeah. So if you don't have places where you can really demonstrate the level of peaceness, and if there's a proper coach that can take them through, so the biggest problem we have, lacking of information. People, they cannot make informative decisions. And that's what makes the families actually fearing a lot. I mean, we are different than the Western world, because there, the amount of information is there, risk appetite is more. Here we have less risk appetite. But in order for us to get into that new, basically, era for us, we have to provide more information. Yeah. And as I told you, for example, the ladies here that, okay, there are a lot of lady guides, but it's not obvious. It's not visible for the normal people. So we have to, I really like this event, definitely, because you're bringing it to the surface. But you have to also to make it how safe is it, how difficult, and what do you need to wear. This is another issue. Yeah, because also we are conservative. And I'm sure in Sohaila and other adventurers here, you can be modest. And at the same time, you can do your adventure.
No, completely.
Yeah. So this you don't need really to be like Western ladies. No, it's not. It's not.
No, it's
Western.
not about that. It's not the
Yeah, you can be modest.
Sure.
Yeah. So again, is the wear and the dresses and how I can really maintain modesty. At the same time, I do whatever I want to do. I think the last thing that I would like to address is definitely the locations of the, privacies for ladies. There's no locations or areas which is dedicated for ladies. And this is definitely a big issue also.
But what do you mean?
Anything. It could be like
a gym, one of them
gym.
is a gym.
I mean, gyms they're starting now, but again,
But
you
like
go to beaches, yes, private beaches.
gyms.
That
I
would be
mean,
Private
nice.
spots for captains.
These are not it. Even the facilities, they are not. There's no specific facilities. A lot of places up there, unfortunately, we're very bad in providing facilities. So all of this, like simple example, a change room. It's a challenge, yeah?
Yes.
For when we take locals for them, ladies sometimes, it's a very big challenge for them. So simple things. It's
This
all
is
to
very
do with-
interesting. This that you said, it will not come to my mind, for example. This last thing that you said. The facility our changing room. May I change here? And I put my towel and I change. No. So not really, it's very interesting. Like, sure, I'm with my. Yeah. Really, maybe they said that.
I'm trying to convince my wife
Yes,
to go in a
yes.
high one time, at least one time. And then she put all of this list for me. Yeah, because I never think about them. Okay, does it have this? Does it have this? Does it have this? Then I start thinking about the books. That's what makes all the local ladies important. Now, I think this is something that you, the ladies group, can address. And I'm sure there are a lot of communities now, they can really make this happen.
Yes, and this, at the end, I understand there are challenges, but at some point they cannot turn into excuses. Okay, meaning like there are solutions. And we need to find the solution. We don't need like, oh wait, for example, just very like random, like oh changing room. Okay, you know what? Actually, if you go to any, I said Decathlon because we go to Decathlon to buy the things for outdoor. There is the changing room, this changing thing that you fold it in one set exactly. Imagine, no problem. This will be for our ladies to change. They will have the privacy. So it's always about looking short there for solutions. So they will have also the same opportunities than them.
So addition to Nabil, actually, I just 100% what Nabil says, like exactly got it from my father for the first time. So when I started sailing, it was just for fun. Then it was an instructor, and then I say, no, help, I'm more than this. Why? Because being the race team. And being the race team, even the company themselves, they were shocked. Like, Raya, do you know what are you talking about? Being in the race team and being a racer is completely different. But we said, okay, let's just try. I know I'm not going to be sponsored, but let's just try. And I remember the first time I showed my family, I say, listen, I'm not going to do this. This is not going to show. I was so excited. So I picked the wrong video. The wrong video is about actually how you start sailing, you know, when they're sailing the lot boat and so speed. For me, because they're too exciting. But when they saw this video, and they were like, hell no. No way. As I said, Nabil, first of all, think about yourself. Think about this, think about it. All the points Nabil said are correct, and it's the same thing that's asked. And then in here, it's asked my mind, like, listen, I'm not going to be in this level, in this boat, unless I'm really professional. As I said, the lack of information. You know, the parents, what they know about the boat is cruising. But being a racer, something is completely different. You have to go through different levels. So I have to be physically like the top to be in this boat. So I just convince them, listen, they cannot put me in this level, they cannot put me to be a racer or a second level racer in different boat unless I have this qualification, unless I'm strong this enough. No one can put anyone in this game.
You educate them. You are
unless they're really qualified. It's not only me, it's everyone else. So we're not just going there. They need to see I'm physical enough, I'm mentally enough to do that. I'm willing to accept like being the boat, other things. So I cannot be here there unless I'm really qualified to be this. So let me just try, as Nabil said, what you're gonna wear, what you're gonna do, where you're gonna practice. And they'll say like, yes, in Oman we have this a lot of, you know, like even the gym, they were asking about every old question. Yes, there was a lot of challenge there because in Oman it's a bit difficult. So most of my, alhamdulillah, most of the campaign we did, it was in France and everywhere. So this is actually just boost my you know, like my energy. It shows more on me. So when you get information, when you get learn, when you get all this, then you know that it's safe for this person to be here. But the moment that you don't have the parents exactly, they don't have this information, of course they will be like, no. Although they are supportive for you, everything, but yes, we need to understand that our parents, they have a different perspective about it. They have different things in mind. Alhamdulillah, it's like my family, they're open-minded. They will not say that the community say this and that, but at the same time, they put in mind, we don't want to put our daughter at risk. You know, she can be crazy, but we are not crazy. We need to think behalf of her. You know, and then but you converse them like, I cannot be in this level unless I have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then every time I step forward and I show like I'm able to do. I'm doing more till I myself reach to the level I say it's fine. You know, I'm satisfied. I'm doing it for myself, as Fakir saying, I'm doing it for myself. And then you reach that point, you say, still I can do more, but this is fine. So then this comes from your own. But the society and everything else, they'll all be against you from the beginning. Everything goes against you from the beginning, everything. But in the end, when I reached the level, I said myself, I stopped here. I reached what I wanted. I wanted to see the ocean actually. I wanted to rest with the, you know, like I started very late, with the age of 20. Then I see myself, I'm racing with the people that started at the age of 3 and 4 and 5. Then I thought, this is something new. This is something new, you know? So, yeah, it just goes like that. So, you know, you give yourself motivation. You give yourself those thoughts who you want to be. Yeah. But the society and everything involved against you, but it's you where you want to stop.
But now your family is proud of you.
The whole country knows.
This is what I mean.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So there is a lot of challenges to say, but at the same time you need to understand, yes, there is things, yes, it's really challenging there. We cannot be saying, oh, it was easy.
No.
The toilet was one of them in the boat, actually. The European ladies, it was fine for them. You know, I don't want to go in deep what we did, but
Please do.
yeah, actually, any woman want to go on a boat, any Omani, any Muslim, any country we go, is like, how do you use a toilet? There is no toilet in the bath.
I'm shocked about this thing with the toilet. What's going on?
Because every woman wants privacy. It's really shocked because we're not in a big yacht. This is not a luxury yacht. This is a racing. As minimum things you're picking with us, as better it will be. So it will be like the first question, even how you're doing it. And we say, one or two. It's very hard because we find for us a solution. The European coach and the racers was with us, for them it's very easy, you know.
Yeah.
They just have 2 pieces on them. We have 6 pieces on us. We find a solution. I say you have to find a solution. If you understand what you're doing.
Yes.
We find a solution.
Yes.
Even with teacher European, this is a solution to be more in privacy. I think now they're still using it, but we found it.
The point to allow, if you want to make it easier,
Yeah.
then you have to adjust them. That's the only
Yeah.
point that okay, you have gone through a difficult time, but we want now to encourage this spread around. So we have to find something to make it easier for beginners to get in.
Yes, I just want to add something. Adventure now is not for everyone. Sure, so you can't force anyone to go for hike or adventure if she or he is not prepared. And I think you need to be flexible, you need to be open-minded, and to have the courage. So, for a woman, for example, to go for a hike, the first question would be, where's the toilet, where's the changing room, No, you need to be flexible. Yes. And I used to go camping since 2000 maybe, or even before that. And it was really very simple. We just have a tent. We don't even have the toilet tents like now they have. So, yeah, we manage ourselves, you know. You need to be flexible, you need to be open-minded, just go in the bush.
Yes, in the bush.
That's the real adventure. Yes. Nowadays, the camping, the outdoors became like really fancy.
Yes,
you take your whole furniture with you.
Your kitchen,
That's good adventure.
Yes, not the option. Sure. I mean, when you are into adventure, you have to be willing to be, would you say, flexible. Sure, like otherwise, but otherwise, stay at home.
Guys, I've been for camping for 10 days. Can you believe? I survived, alhamdulillah, without toilet. So yeah.
I tell all now that the people that are coming, we do a lot of camping, the people that I'm taking from Oman, and even my next trips, like, if you are looking for a proper toilet, for shower every day, don't come to my trip. Like, I'm very open. If you are looking for this, don't come. You have to be flexible, you have to be like, yes. Like, be willing maybe 3 days no shower, maybe sleeping very cold one day, maybe, yes.
Yeah, he was just saying about the limits that the female rights are facing. Actually, it's not we that you should blame. It's the whole society. We were raised this way. We were programmed this way that we should keep a distance from males. We should keep a distance from strangers.
We should not go on mixed adventures.
Yes, we were raised this way. We were programmed this way. Once a girl that decides to do something different or to follow her passion or to do these kind of things and to push the limits like a little bit, first from her family. If her family is like little bit flexible, they find another pressure from the other families, from neighbors. So the neighbor has an opinion of how you can live your life, or where you go, where you cannot go. So imagine, you study, you do everything by your own, you are independent.
You are an adult.
But a really far relative has a saying to how you can live your life. So this is very difficult. But there is some solutions. I guess it has to prove herself, like Raya she did. Yeah, after she proves herself, everyone becomes satisfied. like I know that girl, she's one of my family. But, yeah, when she succeeds, they accept her actually. But yeah, but before that, no, they don't. Yeah, so we have some challenges.
Just to blaming. One of the situations I'm faced sometimes because I'm in communication too. Some of the guides, boys, give me their wife's number. They told me just convince my wife, convince my daughter to go on this and these activities. Why? Because some of the girls are also labeling themselves as I'm a cute girl. I don't go on adventure. Maybe they are programmed too, but we should mention that encouraging people in girls' lives.
And I think now we are looking more for a fulfilling experience than for materialistic things. Like there are more and more into that, but it's true that this is how you label yourself. Yes, and not only yourself, society. And yes.
Just sharing about the mixed group. I know there are a lot of girls that are hesitant to go to mixed group, but I've been with mixed groups a lot, and I really learned from them a lot. It's how you, as a girl, you put your boundaries within them. You can be a good colleague, a good friend, but it's all on you. It's not about others. How you put a boundary between, even within the girls, sometimes it happens issues between the guys or between a full team. And I hear a lot of, when you go with the girls' hearts, there are lots of drama. But again, I go back to what Suhail said. You, as even a girl, you should be so flexible, so calm, to embrace and vibe whatever drama goes in and give them that nice smile and mention it to them that things go very smoothly. So I believe if you put the boundaries and you become flexible, that will help you to give an impression to whoever you're going with, a mix or even a girl or even a family. It gives a lot of messages to that group and they give that really respect and they wouldn't cross the boundaries that you get. And it doesn't come to be an invitation or anything.
It will take time because, as Mariam said, that most of the girls are programmed to do this. We just have to give them sometimes. Our Omani's girls, we have to give them sometimes.
A little bit of time, sure, and everyone goes in their own path, and yes, it's true.
There's still big group think they are princesses. There are big group think they are princesses, we're facing a lot, we're having a new yacht coming from Mars, so we always like to invite girls. And she cannot go to the yacht just because she's sunburning. You want to miss a trip on a yacht just because of the sunburning? Seriously, there. You want to miss a lifetime trip on the yacht just because you're afraid of sunburning your face? But what you can do, this is a mentality.
Yes, this is a mentality.
This is a mentality there. Yeah.
Also, one of the problem here in Oman, sometimes we face it, how to do marketing for girls.
I would put that in my channel, like marketing, yes. Yes.
What we have to show in our advertisement, in our page. As a conservative family, I don't want to see people going to dance or to have, the only pictures or videos I see that people dancing together or doing, the things that people do sometimes to have fun. I want to see more. So how to advertise the adventure or the trips for the girls is also important.
It is true. Even sometimes I feel people will even not try to hide even their faces or things like that. Yes, so I thought about that, how marketing yourself about this. This can be a solution for this. Sure, you need to use marketing for yourself. There is no other way. There are many channels. It's true. There are many. Yes.
But becoming girls going if the girls are not hiding and they are putting on their pages, publishing about themselves, it is slow, but it will be normal.
It will become normal.
We can normalize it.
Yes, you will normalize it completely. And at the beginning, it will be hard for all the first ones. It's like this, and at the end, it will be easy.
They will sacrifice, but
yes, it's like this. Yes.
I think regarding the marketing, word of mouth marketing is perfect for females because if you ensure a good experience for a girl, then she will be talking about your company with her relatives and friends. So
Word of mouth, right?
word of
Yes.
mouth marketing is much better for females.
It can be, yes, that makes sense. But just for you to know, even me I face challenges. My mother doesn't
We
talk
would
to
like
me
to
by the
hear.
way. Yes, no, I know because also me I come with different mentality, with different cultures. But even myself, it's been like very challenging. So, for example, my mother never accepted my way of life, my lifestyle. My mother doesn't talk to me. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. So she broke the relation with me for what I was doing. And it's very, oh my God, I was very in pain. It's very like you don't want to break relation with your own mother, but sure, and I had like a lot of self-confidence, so I decided just to go and do it. But these difficulties is everywhere. Like she told me, why you not just don't settle down, do like a normal life, get married, why you don't have children, why you don't stay in one place, you have one job from Monday to Friday. So my mother in Spain thinks that. And I say, no mother, thank you, that's not for me. Yeah. And it's difficult, but I'm very happy, okay, with my life right now. This is so something I'm trying to work on, but I'm very happy that. And it took me a lot of time and energy and a lot of self-knowledge, a lot, to get to this point, yes.
You can understand this.
Yes.
I could maybe also confirm, even though we come from Western
Yes.
culture, but it doesn't mean my family is also very proud of what I'm doing. They kind of got used to it. They still talk to me, yes. Also, it's something like, are you going alone? Why you have to do all these things? Why you just come back home and sit with us and find a husband and yeah, all the stereotypes.
Oh, and like recently I did a big hiking in Spain. It's like for a month and a half hiking, and it's like one of the most difficult ones. And at that point, at that time when I was talking to my mom, I had to create, like I was traveling with someone, with Roberto, and I told him, yes, Roberto is coming with me on this trip, and me by myself with my mom. Like imagine to him. And then he was asking me, how is Roberto? And then I was saying, what Roberto? I said, Roberto, the one from the hiking. I said, yes, he's good, he's already back home. And now I had many challenges, but we've talked already about some of them. I just wanted, like, for example, now to talk before Marta will talk, like, which do you think that they are the key factors in the female entrepreneurship for tourist sector in Oman? Like, which are the factors that will help or not help for women in order to become like leaders in the tourism and adventure sector here in the country? Like, what do you think there are?
I think the knowledge of the thing you're gonna do. Like myself, I'm now into the business of this submarine and other yacht because I do have a knowledge. And the women exactly knowledge, and this is a very advantage thing for me when I go and anyone asks me to be a partnership or anything like this. So when you have a knowledge, and exactly as a woman in that knowledge, big knowledge about that, so like very big elements to go to.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know, like actually previous maybe even like knowledge, business knowledge, and even previous history of some kind of work experience. Yes, that will be an important factor, right? Yes. I brought also, for example, the availability for initial capital, maybe money, I don't know, to start the business. That may be a factor to start or not to start. I don't know if now government gives any kind of help in terms like economical to start your own business or not. Or for young people, I don't know, in Oman how it works now.
There are funds.
There are funds.
There are some funds.
Yes. And I brought like financial, like moral, actually put capital letter, moral support from family or friends and social networks. Yes, like very important key factors.
Networking and collaborations.
Yes, networking, collaborations, yes, sure, yes.
I believe in partnership.
Partnership.
Rather than everyone opens their own company, why don't they come and be partnership together and hence the funds, put it all together
Yes.
in one basket?
Yes.
Especially it's new into the country. Why? That's how I see it. But anyone can correct me. I'm not right. I'm not even wrong or deserve. But I see like since COVID, it's boosted a lot of small groups, teams. Some of them even they just went one hike. Okay, let me open a hiking group. What kind of knowledge you have? What kind of imaging and pictures? I don't think that's enough in pictures because people don't trust. And I feel I don't see much women come together for one purpose to
totally
collaborate. We have a lot of, I wouldn't say healthy competition. It's nice to have a healthy competition for some time, but as a good, really collaboration without naming any companies or anything. No, I would love to work alone. I would love to be with my own only team and all. Why we didn't expand? Because expand is that's how you build the confidence. That's how you break whatever fear you have out of it. And here you get the network, and here you get the atmosphere and everything together. Actually, when I was speaking to Kula, one of the inside purpose we wanted to make this, we want women to collaborate together, to partner. It doesn't have to be even with women and women companies. You can do it even with a man. In terms of you want really adventure, because we're speaking about adventure, not a luxury hike where you go for a trekking. Let's say we're sailing. There are women still doing these kind of courses or proper courses that they don't want to launch it because like, if something happened, we will be blamed more than men. So here again, once we have a good collaboration together, in terms of training, in terms of having hiking or adventure trips, it will really give a good solid repetition, not just for the company, it's for the whole industry, first of all, and also for the country. And that's how we will attract other women to come into our country and feel safe to do all this.
And other companies and investors.
So have a good example. Who would think in like a couple of years we have a good sailor which is in Oman and from the country. So it means she can do it. That means even in the adventure abseiling and all these adventure outdoor mountaineering, a woman can do it. And a woman can do it.
For the country's development, it has to be like in every mind, like women and men need to be in every sector. Now we're talking about this sector, they need to be there really to be the country fully developed. Otherwise, no way. And I wrote like some of these, like for example, I wrote talking like define social expectations, struggling. Maybe also you feel like that, struggling to be taken seriously. I don't know if maybe any of you feel like this way, that people will not take you serious for being a woman. Or even building a support network, it will be more difficult. So this is what we've been talking about, yes. Travel marketing, what you just said, and lack of knowledge, even in the tourist market as well. Legislative barriers, like maybe I don't know how it works here with the governments. And it's also this, like, it's a sector that is led by men. And men should help like by building alliances not only with other men but also with women and including them in their businesses and in their activities. And I'm just very good at it.
Can I ask how many people here who are guides have any formal qualification for guiding, hiking, or any training, any formal training in the sport, in the activities they're in?
In process to get my free diving license that I use for first aid and also in my
Because I think, that when you're talking about development for in general, not just for females but also for males, I don't know. I'm not sure if there's any training company or college in Oman that caters for the outdoor industry, for training people, giving them certifications in climbing, hiking, mountain biking, caving, anything like that. So when it comes to actually doing those activities, just simple things like hiking, it's having the confidence to know that you are doing it correctly, and having that training to help you do it properly. And I think if you could get that training when it's available, but it would give you more confidence to actually put yourself out there, show that you're qualified. Say, yes, I'm a certified guide, I'm a certified hiking guide or mountain leader.
This one is working in the Ministry of Heritage and Tourism. They are trying to do this places.
We don't have, like centers or places for training, but they are working for it right now. They will start at the end, I think, of this month. They will do the first course for training, especially for those in adventure sector. Most of the guides, you see them now, the technical guides or the certified guides are taking their certificates from outside Oman, not from Oman. But they will start doing it at the end of this month, the first course.
So but it's still not happened yet.
And
So
they
that's
do
what I'm
the
saying. It's, I mean, for me, it's important. You know, if we're when we work with a lot of schools, and you have to be really paperwork, your administration, everything has to be absolutely spot on. Risk assessments, insurance, everything we have to have. And like we're talking about, Bill was saying, and Ray, about the information that parents are receiving, we have to make sure we give everything so they understand exactly what the children are going into, the activities they're taking part in. It's the same around adults as well, because you have adults who don't do these things, it's new to them, they want to do these new experiences, so you have to make sure you give them all that information. And if you can understand all that and you've been trained or you have the experience to do that, it makes it a lot easier to put yourselves out there, to make people feel confident. I'm a guide, I can do this, we're going to take you here, and you can advertise more, and people then start to word of mouth, you know, it starts to get around. That's a lot of our school businesses worked over the last 10 years, just from word of mouth, schools working with us. We take groups all over the world, and it's, you know, that's how it works. And hopefully, yeah, I'm hoping the training and things will come. It needs to. It's got to be the proper training as well.
For adventures or trips, it's a new sector here in Oman. They are starting working and implementing the sector now.
That's good.
The business here, so I'll tell you, it's not only with the women, I think. The women, they are really now organizing themselves. This is an evidence that there's more organization happening here for you compared to the male sort of. The business is very fragmented. There's no collaboration, there's no cooperation. Everybody works individuals. I mean, some mentioned here, everybody just went into 2 or 3 hikes and they form a company.
Yeah, yes, Nabi. He's like from outsider. I was shocked when I saw the cinema. Everyone has the same. So directly, 10 people are doing the same. Like with no innovation, same.
The things is actually.
Except for us, in this collaboration with the Stars of the Seas and with Wadi Adventures, many of adventure tourism, we make a collaboration with them. Actually, we are only open a booking website to book any adventure, sea adventure show. We bring all the ladies to join a company. If there is like sailing or kayak, we bring all the ladies also for wave summit or Husak. So we have a lot of collaboration.
But that's not enough. I think there's a lot of elements that you have addressed in, which is actually the risk elements, the liabilities for injuries. And we have seen a lot of incidents, where basically the liabilities were not addressed. And frankly saying, sometimes make you that this is not the right place to really establish a business like this. But now, even the government, the efforts that they're putting now, is not an organized effort. I had the liberty also to meet some of the top tourism sort of, let's say, legislators. Yeah, so and they themselves they know that there's no enough efforts, and the risk that the country is taking for injuries or for death accidents is quite big. It's not tolerable sometimes. But then, in order for this to happen, this is the sort of metrics that you need. First of all, a lot of the small companies has to merge together. There's no point, because most of these companies also, they don't work like a permanent business. They work in the weekends, and they're not really sort of full-time guides. They're not trained, and they don't know, they don't understand the liability part, they don't understand the risky part. I always ask people, if you're in the middle of Snake Gorge, and something happened to you, how are you rescue the guy? And I had several incidents where people actually were in the middle. And the risk effort is really,
actually,
we don't want even to think about it.
Yeah, the main thing is that we don't have association related to adventure or
So
tourism
I
or
think
like the clubs.
that's really one of the recommendations that we can have. in this gathering, get together, merge these efforts together, form big companies, start basically thinking about permanent stuff, starting about certification, first aid and rescue. And once you have like an organized setup, only 5, 6 companies they get together, then you have respect from the audience. The parent can trust, the group can trust. I really, but I know the effort that we are putting in. It's called Hunna. Yeah, Muzra. Yeah. So anyway, there's a lot of efforts. Now this need to be put together, and then you can go to the government, and they will be forced to accept because they don't have anything to offer to you. Frankly saying, this training that they are offering now is being done by the military. They have nothing to do with the business. And then even the certification that they have, it does not meet the international standards. So it's just an effort from somebody to organize it, but it's not going in the right direction. So, I mean, a gathering like this, come up with some targets. Like, what are the things that you need to do? Probably women will be more advanced than males there. Nobody knows, but I think it's very important.
We are probably together in this. That's why we sat together.
I wish, because I see the other companies practicing they don't work with each other.
Yeah.
We had people who tried to put them together, and it's not easy. It's much easier with the own groups, but with the other groups, like.
It's actually very good we reached these topics. These were the topics I was planning to cover in the second part. First, the registration and the certification. These are very big topics that nobody is thinking about here because people just take advantage and practice as much as they can, take the profit directly, not sharing with anybody, yeah? And not sharing their copyrights for places and other things. So this is something definitely needs to change. And as Kula said, this is one of the reasons we are here today. So far, we don't have like a real structure. What are the steps we need to take? But I believe if we manage to put a plan together and present it at the ministry, of course, it will take a few visits. I believe they would, since they have nothing in their hands actually, they would just have to say yes at the end. Yeah? If we have something written black and white, supported by some materials. Yeah. So this is one of the reasons we are here. Obviously, it can't happen all today. It's just the first day, very small step. Yeah, the initiative comes from here. And also, as we spoke about earlier, the lack of information for parents or for any caretakers who send their family members or children on the trips like this. Maybe Kula would want to explain the concept of the website.
It's okay, I'll explain. You'll explain?
Yeah.
You want to explain?
Because here we come nicely, it's a bridge to the what's actually.
I was just taking pictures, not listening to what you were saying.
So the idea of how the website is uniting people and bringing the information for the customer.
Yeah, exactly. The idea of the Oman adventure, just like everyone kept mentioning, when you do something, we just copy paste, everyone does the same thing. We don't go further into making what we do more professional and more available to other people. You mentioned something about wanting more information for girls, if they want to go to adventure, you want more information. And that's why we created the Aman Adventure, to allow providers to give that information, to make it easy access, so that any company that does adventures can just put their information on the website, and then you as a partner can go and see the reviews of other customers and decide.
So it's like a booking.com, you know, when you want to book a hotel, you'll see the review and the picture of the hotel, everything on it, and you do your payments there. So basically this website, it's like the booking.com, but it's omanadventure.com. So you just see the reviews, and Uncle Nabil, inshallah you'll feel safe when you let your daughter to go any hiking or any adventure fields, because there is a review, there is a payment there, so you can check your daughter how much she paid for that. Okay, and everything is there, and no worries, inshallah.
A lot of the companies who have a lot of startups, so a lot of startups who don't want to put money into marketing, have their own website, and investing in people to do the marketing for them, or to even contract to companies to do marketing for them. So it's expensive for startup companies. So instead of doing that, you can just have a profile as a provider on the website and just put your information there. That's it. don't need to invest in so much to show your name out there. You wanted to say something more?
I wanted to ask, I think in general it's a good idea. Thank you for doing it. Other people have started, they did something, but it did not materialize. My question is related to, again, we were talking of safety and we were talking about the fact that newcomers come in and they think they know it all and immediately they start doing without going into the critical analysis of whether there is actual enough safety for this kind of an activity to take place or not.
Yeah.
So slowly the government has started, like for example, a couple of years ago, Bandar Khairan was not that well known for sea adventures. Now, over the weekend, it's just, we will know that thing, yeah, it's, Raya also knows that, it's really crowded and everyone is there with jet skis and whatnot. Being in Marina where I'm docked, I have my safina and speedboat, and most of the time I see ambulances there because people who come and do, like they have their own jet skis, personal jet skis, and they just hire them out to get money. They don't have commercial licenses to operate. So what the government now is doing, they have police patrols in BK, Bandar Khairan, and they come during the weekends and observe. So whoever is running activities on commercial basis has to be under the umbrella of a company. So that's one thing at least they're doing to eliminate the fact that not just everyone is coming here to do his own thing. There are companies who are licensed and experienced and certified for such jobs. In terms of this platform, what kind of eligibility criteria, if you're just saying like anybody can go and just put up the information, aren't we going back to the same thing where all of a sudden it's got all the information that parents and non-parents are looking for, but how did you choose them? How did you consider and certify that these are suitable to be in here, so that people just online come and, like booking.com you say. So was there like a pre-research about the companies that you would invite them to be on board on your platform?
Exactly. So the website is not launched yet. So one of the things I wanted from this event is to hopefully convince the few ones that are actually registered as companies to be the first partners to go on the website and to have their activities and adventures there. But what you're saying is that for me as a company, as a registered company myself, who takes money from other companies, I have my restrictions as well. So if I pay, like the website works like you as a company that provides adventures, you will provide your adventures on the platform, and then I will have to pay you because there is a payment gateway. And to be able to do that and use the payment gateway, the central bank is watching you. Does she have the company registered as an adventure company? Does she have the license for tourism so that you can pay her according to what you said? So they can accept anybody else unless they have CR, they have insurance requested, they have a certificate from the Ministry of Tourism. So everything that they say they provide, they have to show the certificates for them and upload them in the profile, and then they get approved as a provider. Otherwise, they're not approved.
One point along, and I know that Amran Group is the biggest tourism basically facilitator or stimulator in Oman. They are not much engaged in this sector, but I had the chance to meet the chairman and the CEO, and I did express that this is a sector which is coming, or an industry which is coming very fast, which is not regulated, not organized. And they believe that they are also noticing this, and they thought that they are putting solutions similar to what you're doing. So there's a website now which they're launching. I can't remember the name. Yeah, a guide, I think Guide Oman or something like that.
Visit Oman.
Huh?
Visit Oman.
Which is done by Oman. Now, it'd be good if you really coordinate efforts together. You link at least the two websites, and you also can have the credential of whoever registered here, because that will consolidate the efforts together. The worry is now that there will be too many venues like this. I should say the qualification process is very critical. And the qualification, I use a lot of international platforms. And I know some of them, they're very strict, but really to prevent a lot of, I can say, non-serious players to come in the market. So it's a good effort. But it has to be consolidated also with what really the big players are doing. And that will give definitely a good support for this. You know, if there's a government support, Oman is still an arm of government. It will have better weight in the market.
I know about the two platforms. There is Visit Oman that you said
Oman, yes.
But they're not allowing payment for customers. They show information about providers, but it's not something where you can go and compare between 10 providers that provide the same hiking trail in Sadaf, and it does not show all of the reviews of the customers that have been there, what their experience was, and you cannot book right there on the website using your debit card. People are still doing it with WhatsApp and sending
I think that's what will give advantage for your site.
Yeah.
What you need the endorsement and the support.
Yeah, true.
Not necessarily that for me, but as I told you, they are really, if you know how much they spend, you guys, you are not even there, and a dot in the ocean compared to what they spend. I know that very well. So it's very important that you bring their attention to the adventure industry.
Yeah,
I'm planning to do this. Actually, I had a word with the chairman probably 3 weeks back, and I told him I'm going to really organize all the companies to come and talk to you, because you guys, you have to take your responsibilities for this sector, which is just growing now, and you're not taking it serious. So my just piece of advice, I don't know if anybody knows Shabib al-Ma'mal. So talk to Shabib, tell him that we need your support for this, and we need Amran to really fund this and to support this.
Can you take me with you in the next meeting?
Yes.
This is what we need. Like the support comes with action, not just so you can take me with you.
I'm struggling as much as you're struggling.
Yeah, let's struggle together, and then it will be less difficult.
The industry is at a very high risk. I had 2 incidents since I've started my company, but I've learned from them a lot.
Yeah.
I've started talking to insurance company around. They're not willing to give you insurance.
No one is.
No. And so it's not really helping. If you have one incident, it can get you out of business. And can destroy the reputation of this industry. We don't want that to happen. So we know basically we are a lot of people. We have done business, so we have business. We know how to run a company. We know how to run a business. But then this part has to be taken seriously, which is safety and the rescue part is the most difficult and serious issue. The only way to address them is the certification, training, and coaching. And we as an individual company, we cannot achieve it alone. We have to collaborate. There's no other way.
Would you say there are major players who are providing training, certification, or at least access to them, even if you have to go
but in Europe, a lot of them, maintenance, there are certification. A lot of them, we have talked to a lot of them, they are willing to come, they are willing to provide certificates and training.
Yeah.
So it's not a big deal. Providing training certificates and that, it does not justify the cost. By the way, most of you guys, you run at cost or prices, which does not justify the business. And every newcomer will come, will even drop further the prices, which make it difficult actually to implement all these safety measures. And I've noticed this. There is this tendency of having less amount, bigger group. Actually, your exposure is increasing. You better have higher amount, less, but then manage the risk.
But that's the thing, they have bigger exposure and they have more groups, but they last 1 year and then they disappear.
Because of the risk.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Something going on over COVID, period of COVID, is a lot of these non-serious entities that are trying to run these trips, they keep their prices, they're just undercutting everything that proper businesses are pricing. We have overheads, we have insurance, we've got offices to run, transport. These guys are doing it as a hobby, and they're posting things, 10 riyals for Wadi Shab or Wadi Arbin or something, and there's no way they can be making money on that. And it's making, and even people I know who are quite sort of into the, oh yeah, are they registered, are they licensed? They still go to these people because, oh yeah, but they're much cheaper. And it's just not doing the industry any good, and it's not safe. Because they don't know what they're doing. They're undercutting proper businesses, proper guides, and putting things in so cheap. But don't undercut yourselves. If you're a proper business, make some money. Keep the price like it should be, and people will start to see. They're paying for proper services here. They know what they're doing. I don't know how some of them can run some of these trips. And again, it's get as many as they can on there, and then safety drops.
No safety, basically.
Yeah.
There is no safety.
And then people aren't asking either, are you registered? We'll come with you, we'll do VF and Job Shams. And I've seen people up there who should be up there, as in people running the trips. And it's not good.
I totally agree with you. I think joining efforts at the we have to get together, we have to speak to the government in the same way. We have to unify the price, not at least unify, but what's the minimum threshold they have to maintain, and what are the minimum standards that you have to maintain basically as a community. The moment we have this, then you basically can take the first step. I don't think anybody is satisfied about how he's running his business. I'm sure there's a lot of new startup here. I've been in this business now for the last 5 years, and I'm telling you guys, we make good profit. It's not that we don't, we make very good profit. But the only way we are making profit, we're not targeting the Oman market.
Yes.
We target only Western market.
Yes.
And they appreciate the safety, they appreciate all of this. That's why we can. But if you want to address the local market, the family community, we have to upgrade our standards. We have to make information available. You have, still I say, you have to address the parents and the family, and you have to have enough information. That is money. In order for you to invest in all of this is money. And in order for you to invest in this, you have to have good prices in order to get started.
I think there are a lot actually, we don't say it's not there in Oman, but it's only specific way. So like Marathon, let's talk about sea. Of course, Zoena's there. Everyone who goes with the boat with the client, we always think that if really a drunk or men overboard happen, what actually happened? In Khairan, there is no any Marathon there. Although they are there because the police station there, but they are just for certain cases. And we are these people, they are there, but they're very expensive. But the only solution can happen, like as you say, we all cooperate together, because as a SMEs, you cannot raise your voice alone. Because you don't have actually, I don't think any SMEs can have that enough cash to really take these courses. They're really expensive because the materials they're using, the people, the structure are really expensive. The only thing you can do, like SMEs comes together, exactly when they come together the same field, like Zuen and I in the same field of water. So you and she, Mariam Khan, in the field of tourism. If you come together and you show that, listen, we are struggling because of the safety, which is right, this is people's life. But at the same time, it's my life as well, this is my business. As same as like I need, it's not like I don't have, I will provide people, and you need really to think about give me a really good rate, a really good training, a really quality, because the police always what you're saying, what you see when someone falls on the mountain because of the height and everything, then we see like some of the police come, then the publish come when all the police go safe. So what we thought, why did you all, as I said, all SMEs come together? This is an issue is there because it's damaged your business as well. And you cannot stop because the issue is there. So if you all come together, before even opening the website, I'm sure if you open your website, the same issue, because there is here in this table, there is a suppliers and there is a customers. So there's the demand and supply in this table. So we all, as you showed and you spoke, we all facing the same issue, right? So even if you open this, I think the first thing you have to go is that converse people, like, listen, we are studying the market, we are sit with people, and both sides, the client, supply and demand, and then this is actually what they are facing. And then if they want a meeting with the entrepreneurs here and SMEs, why not? You have, I think you have more than these people, because there is a lot. And safety, something have to be there. So it's not only a responsibility of the government, not a hospital or ambulance or anyone on helicopter. It's responsibility for you, first of all, taking people there. Okay, I know how to swim and to save a man overboard. But what if 2 of them fall in the water? Right? So yourself, your business, everything is under the risk. So this is a good one, but as well, if you open this, you will face this, because the small one, the gap is still there in the market. So I suggest, since you open this, of course you have a CR. So one of your issues and the challenges of your business model, you have to put this. I cannot establish this because there's a big gap on this. And the big gap comes because these people complain to you. And these people actually see your feedback of your website, right? So set up a meeting, do whatever you want to do, but there's a real issue going on, which is safety. And this is
safety and registration, basically.
Yeah, so I'm sure they will listen when many voice comes. Of course, the highlight of the girl, she falls on the mountain, they will say, yeah, it's okay because she was alone, she wanted. But when it's come for a company like Nabil, okay, we can blame Nabil's company, but Nabil was struggling to get someone qualified for a training, you know? So when Nabil, you, everyone complains about this, then this is a government issue now. So
the problem is there's no standardization in Oman for outdoor activities. So if you go to Europe, they have laws in place which you have to follow, such as what you're certified, this, the guides. You've got to be at a certain level, or your company's got to follow these certain rules to be able to run. In Oman, there's nothing really like that. So there's no rules saying someone cannot take someone on Gibraltar or go hiking on them, because there's nothing to sort of measure that against. So that the government has to bring in some standardisation. They tried doing it, a couple of years ago, and it just fell apart. Nothing really ever happened.
Yeah, because they did not provide a reasonable solution. Realistic is not there. They asked someone, SMEs, who starts actually the fund of the government itself, to put a training instructor of 2,000 riyal money. It cannot happen because you found in hand.
What did they ask?
As well.
Again, what did they ask from the SMEs?
They say, as he said, there is instructions, yes, this is 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if they put this structure, remember, this is SMEs. They're taking up funds from you, and you're coming from the back asking about double what you're giving. You want them to bring a structure, and you say no, that you have to have a qualified structure, which is 2,000 riyal money, and you as a government giving 1,000.
Okay.
So what have you done here?
One positive thing I'll tell you. Frank is saying that the Ministry of Tourism and also associated companies or the government, they would like to get engaged and to provide an industry.
Yeah.
That is part of the question. There's a lot of focus now from the government on SMEs. I know this very well. There's a lot of focus, there's a lot of new regulations coming to push business for SMEs. So the opportunity is there, the space is there, but there's nobody who's taking the issue. The government initiative, we all agree, is not adequate. So it needs a certain community. This community, you just need 4 or 5 who drive this, put people together, ideas, structure. This venue or this channel can be, because you can ask that the minimum qualification for somebody to engage in this, he has to meet what we are inspired to have. They have to meet training requirements, they have to meet certification requirements, and you can tell the government that this could be one of your ways that qualified companies, if they get qualified and they are listed, then can be considered. This is happening in the oil and gas. Those who knows about GSRS. Yeah, it's the same concept. Now everybody gets routed through that. Their duty is to qualify vendors, and then you have to meet minimum requirements. So I can see there is a potential for this. But let's put this effort. If you need help,
I do.
connection with people, tell me, we'll connect you. Yeah. But you need to organize yourself.
Yeah.
And you need to be clear what you want. Yeah. And your voice has to represent the industry, not your own voice. Because if you come four companies together, that's not a voice of industry. I think you know now who are the big really players. I think Wadi Adventure, Rove, I don't know.
Extreme.
23 Extreme. Yeah. I mean, these big companies, change your routine, yes. These are the big players in adventure. We are not. Extreme Cruise, we are basically mix of them. If you bring them together, and they have never, I haven't seen them really sitting together. I remember last year, I think everybody knows Omar Busaid, the photographer. Omar, he's tried to, last year, to bring them together to sponsor some of his activities. Nobody came. Whoever came.
It's very time consuming.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think you guys, you have the energy. I don't have the energy. You guys have the energy.
You have the knowledge, so that's important.
You have the energy. Yeah, you basically can bring people together because you represent the sector. And then you can put your voice together. Make sure it's really clear. The way how we can help, we connect you with the right people and make those voices clear. I don't think there will be an issue of funding, because as I told you, what these guys they pay, for a small hotel, they pay for 50 million a month and investing in a hotel, which doesn't really probably add much value compared to what you're doing. So if they have that amount of money, I'm sure they'll be able to allocate some. And then definitely it will satisfy the ministry, the aspiration of having a safe industry which get formed, and also they will engage a lot of SMEs, guides, coaches, trainers from all over. It's a job opportunity, and that's what the government wants. God bless you. Yeah, and wish you all the best.
Thank you. Do that because this will be one of the biggest futures for your website. Yeah. Because your website actually you can put a big highlight mark, like everyone in this supplies this, they have a qualification of safety, and you'll see how you run your business.
That's the thing. I had a list of almost 200 adventure providers, and I contacted all of them. A lot of them said, yes, I want to register and everything. But when we told them to register, you have to have a CR, you have to have some kind of insurance, you have to have the license minimum from Ministry of Tourism. They're like, we will get back to you later, and then they were gone.
It's cost.
Because
it's a huge cost.
That's true, but I can't take them on unless they have that. So
I'll tell you frankly, when I registered my company, I almost ended up, probably I was giving up eventually. Because now they have facilitated everything. Now they have removed the warranties, they have removed a lot of requirements. Like you have to hire a flat, and you pay rent for it, or you don't use it.
Yeah.
I think it's important now that we go like a lot of other industries. Those who came from IT, they start providing those incubators. It's a very small cost. It allows even adventure companies. We can have incubators under the Ministry of Tourism, or under the College of Tourism, or under Umran. So there are a lot of things that you can demand for. Believe me, it's not difficult to convince the decision makers. And as far as you structure it correctly, and I'm ready to help you in structure. Yeah? Structure your demand correctly, present it correctly, have the collective voice. Don't miss anybody. Don't tell me also my embassy have. Doesn't matter. If it is a collective voice, then it's basically more powerful, more representative. And then you address both. Today, Amman is under Oman Investment Authority, OIA. They talk differently than the government. Address OIA, address Amman, and address the Ministry of Tourism. Yes, but they don't have fund. Who has the fund? They don't have money. I'll tell you from now. They have no money. The money is all under Amran, is all under OIA. So you address them separately, and you'll be able to really get the right support. Yeah? So that's my simple advice for you. You need help, instruction, tell me.
I do.
I'm sure I'm here, and I'm sure there's a lot of, mashallah, pioneers and masters, they can help you here.
I have already registered at Sharaka so that I can get their experience and advice with whatever I can.
Good.
So thank you for offering your help. I guess that was the purpose of meeting of all of us today, and sharing our experience, the information we have or lack of information we experience as well. I think the best thing will be to sit and think through it, as Mr. Nabil said, make it a clear message, and most probably the people who decide won't have any offense against it, because there is no other solution yet suggested, so it should be probably working if we put it together nicely. Yeah? So as I said, this is just a small step we started, but I believe towards the right direction. So it will take some time to formulate all. These were basically all the points I wanted to cover in my second part. And is there anything else you would like to share from your point of view? Was it useful for you, first of all, as a feedback? Was it useful to come here and discuss and hear all these things?
So it's an hour.
Thank you. Have you ever witnessed or participated in anything similar? Meeting the other, I remember you mentioned that you have some collaborations with other companies, which is kind of unique, as it was said. But I think today's meeting is kind of also first of its.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, first of its own in Oman, probably.
I think probably one we just see, as you said, there's a lot of other companies, they really make their way. I think some of them are proud of what they have achieved, and that's why they might think that, okay, we'll progress along, because we have done a lot. You have to convince them to join together. If you convince them, I feel proud of them, that what they have achieved, on the road, and what adventure, change your thing. And I know these guys. I know how professional they are and how seriously they take their safety elements also. They really take it seriously. But now is the engagement, and part of it you demand also for the women part of it. Because, as I told you, we need more contribution because there's a big market element not addressed. The families in Oman are not addressed. Yeah, and the ladies in Oman are not addressed. I know it's only for adventurers, but you make adventure easy, and it's an industry. How do you make it an industry? If you make it easy for people to roll in, to join, yeah? Because what make probably today our probably daughters that they don't engage because we don't have means to engage them when they're still young, when they are 3 years, 4 years, that they can engage to these adventures. And schools like Kim's talking about, this is exactly what we need. If we start engaging them early enough, you'll see the change. In the next 20 years, you'll see a new generation who's fully sort of adapted to it. Thank you.
Completely true. Yeah, it all depends about the education and the raising as well. Yes. Anything you would like to add, Paula?
No, sure. Thank you very much.
Will there be any sort of group communication type way of communicating with everybody? Or?
Yeah, probably we could think of something. I have just roughly put down some points we discussed today, because also our purpose was to learn from you guys, because we are not any more experienced than everybody of sitting here. So to learn from each other, I put some points together so we can probably create some document and stay in touch.
I have everybody's contact information except for the guests there, and the 3 guests. So if you can give me your information, I will request your permission, of course, and then which kind of communication you prefer to be to get in touch together, and whoever gives me permission and their preference, we'll do that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you everybody for joining. Thank you for your time.
Wait, we have, I think, a group photo or something, or I don't know.
before you go?
Yes, yes.
Can we have a group photo before you go, guys?
سحبي الواير HDMI.
ايوه يعني ما غلط.
Give me a copy. I don't know how to say mine, but this is like a roller coaster. I don't have to like. I need
So yeah, that's
Can you have people come this side so the board, the next side? لا بعده لو يدخلوا هنا عشان لو